Welcome to the Melbourne Content Studio. I'm your host, Vic Walker, and each episode I speak to business owners and creatives about all things marketing and content creation to get you inspired and to grow. So let's dive in. If you want to make a career out of a makeup artist, I've got Millie here. She's a makeup artist. How old are you again?
22.
22. So listen up, this video is for you. I'm going to interview Millie while she does my face.
Yeah.
When did you start your career?
Well, I've loved makeup ever since I was really little. I'm a dancer, so it was always part of my childhood. My mum always loved makeup, so I feel like it was just a part of me when I was younger. I had a YouTube channel until I was like 13,
wow.
Which I'm a bit embarrassed
Is it still alive?
No.
Okay.
Don't go looking for it.
Yes, I want to go looking for it.
But I was just doing like little makeup tutorials and just, it was cute, but not it. And then I was sort of that like makeup girl in high school, like doing all my friends before parties. Everyone would come over and I'd do like 6 faces before we'd go out.
Nice.
So I always loved it. And then in school, I just feel like it had such a negative stigma around doing that as a career, and there just wasn't really much information out there either on doing it as a career.
Why do you think it has such a negative stigma?
I was quite good at school, so I feel like if I wanted to go to VCAL and do that, which I didn't want to do anyway because I actually really enjoyed school anyway, it was kind of like looked down upon, which was really disappointing, really judgmental, and like
because you're not intelligent enough to do proper education. Just jumping to now. How do you mostly find your clients?
Through Instagram. I find that a lot of my clients definitely have seen my Instagram, or I put it on Facebook groups and stuff like that. But also, I think a main one is word of mouth.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Everyone that comes knows at least one person,
of course,
that has been to me. Or even if they don't know it, they'll be looking at my account. They're like, oh, I went to school with her, I went to school with her.
And with a makeup artist, it's so personal. You just need that personal referral.
And trust.
And trust, because it can go so wrong. I mean, I've had my makeup go so wrong. I have to show you last time. Oh my God. Anyway, well, let's start, and then we can just keep talking while we start filming. So Millie's going to do my makeup. I'm 50. So we're also going to talk about aging and how important
mature skin.
Mature skin.
That's the term we use.
Vintage skin. You're very skilled in different types of faces, so like that's what you have to be, isn't it? You have to be very adaptable, and in terms of age and gender even. Like, would you do drag?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I don't know if I have the skills for that, but I would be on it.
Well, we might have to do something.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I always start with a toner. As long as the client doesn't have sensitive skin, because usually a toner can be a little bit harsh. I don't have anything too harsh.
Explain to me what a toner is.
The purpose is to kind of minimize pores, like in the long run, but we use it for makeup to sort of just clean the skin of any like dirt, oil, residue, sometimes like fake tan if there's girls that have come in and there's like little bits of fake tan like sitting on top of their face. It doesn't like wipe it off, but it just cleanses
gives it a clean slate to work with.
Exactly. And I use this sort of like, instead of like micellar water or remover, we start with a base of micellar water. We're kind of starting the base with a makeup remover. Always start with eyes first, because that way if we make any mess, we can clean it up and it doesn't affect our beautiful base that we have. And I just go over the eyelid with a concealer usually, or an eye base. But today we're just going to do a concealer and buff that out.
So where did you do your course?
I did my course with Eliza Madeline Makeup at Glam Theory Studios in Heathmont.
How long did that take you?
10 weeks. Yeah. So it's not that long.
Not that long at all. Can I ask the cost? Just so that the people might know, roughly?
I don't remember. Maybe
like in the tens of thousands?
No.
It's like $5,000 budget?
Probably less than 5, more than 2.
Okay.
That's
between $2,000 and $5,000 depending on the course.
Yes,
so
and
you're
that's including a kit as well.
Yeah, well,
like
that's
a whole kit
much
to get
cheaper
started.
than a university course.
Yes, exactly.
$5,000 to get started is a good investment for your career.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the time, especially with school, even though I was just talking about how it's a stereotype, if you do want to do something like that, they just send you to VCAL and send you to a TAFE course. If you're not too sure what you want to do, a TAFE course is good because that gives you a taste of everything. But in the same breath, I feel like they really just brush over things very quickly, and it's not in depth. You do one thing and then you move on, and you do another thing and then you move on. You don't get to sit.
Jack of all trades,
yes,
master
exactly.
of nothing.
If you have a specific idea, which I already did, which was makeup and lash extensions, and I've added since. I already knew makeup, so that wasn't as like heavy to take on. But I did makeup and lash extensions months within each other. Next year I added lash lifts, and then the year after that I've just recently added brows because I wanted to take my time between each service and really master it before I moved on to the next thing. Because like you said, I don't want to be, jack of all trades but master of nothing. I don't want heaps of services to be mediocre. I want specific niches to be really good. Yes. So perfect. My advice would be either, if you know what you want to do, I would say do courses with independent business owners, because a lot of them do that nowadays. You don't have to go to TAFE. That is, again, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, of course.
Instead, you can do like a 1-2 day course for 1.5 to 2 grand, and you're given like lifelong modules that you can go back and watch. You have access to the trainers. Like, as long as you do your research and you really find someone that you align with, that's my advice with getting into it. But again, if you don't really know, TAFE is always a good option, or
just so that you're going to fill up everything.
Yes, those certificate sort of courses.
Yeah.
Another advice is to just do it. Just go for it, because the longer you put it off, you know, a year will come around and you'll be like, oh, I imagine if I started last year and how far I've come. Every year, when I'm feeling a bit hard on myself, or I feel like I haven't made much progress, I literally go back to my camera roll and look at what I was doing this time last year. And it's like, it blows my mind every time. I'm about to do my first paid shoot in the next 2 weeks. And I hadn't even really, my first shoot that I did was in October or November last year. And another thing I would suggest is something I've been, I guess, doing this year. I really committed to myself this year. And that's just saying yes to any opportunity that comes your way, because you never know what doors it's going to open.
Absolutely.
And also just reaching out to people, like, put your ego aside. Like, the worst thing they can do is say, you know, they don't have anything for you, or they can say, not right now. I feel like when I was younger, I was very concerned about looking foolish or like
desperate.
Yes, exactly. But you just got to kind of be annoying to get seen.
You've got to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. I am so conscious of feeling like I'm, in over my head. So I don't think unless I have the experience, I know, like, I can back myself up with my work and my portfolio. Yeah. I don't think I'm too good for anything.
I think networking is so important.
And like 100%.
Yes, because it's who you know, not what you know.
And that is something I've learnt. Yes. Definitely.
And everyone has their own connections. I had a few businesses, and I went door knocking with one of my other businesses that was soul destroying. But when people say no, I take it as not a hard no.
They at least know about you.
Yeah, not right now, but maybe later.
Exactly.
And then you just keep checking in on them.
I am so not that person. I feel like in my business I come across as like way more confident than I am in real life. Yeah. And I am very much a quiet, introverted soul, very anxious. But when it comes to my business, I feel like you kind of just have to put that all aside, and it's really honestly helped with it. Yeah, all those really cliche sayings like fake it till you make it, like, they're so true.
And your personal brand is really important for your business. So you getting in front of the camera and looking totally amazing. People want to work with you because they know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like when I have clients coming into the salon, I'm also trying to not only sell them on my services, but sell them on my personality. So with the eyes, we have kept it very simple, just matte. We've done some browns through the crease, a little bit of deepening in this like outer V, I guess you can call it, and also done the lighter shade on 2/3, I would say, of the lid. That's going to really open up the eyes. With mature eyes, or mature at all, less is more. A lot of the times I'll get, mature clients and they're like, oh, cake it on, I don't want to see anything, airbrush me. But I think the more you put on, the more it sinks into fine lines and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think we've been taught, you know, in the past like 10 years or so that, you know, layer it on and cover everything. Even in general, for all skin types, nowadays, the trends are a lot more natural anyway. So less is more.
My oriental eyes,
Yes.
the eyelids are not as hooded. Is there a certain way you deal with that as opposed to, say, like with a more hooded eyelid?
Yes. They're all very different, especially depending on the nationality.
Yes, of course.
But I find I really try to open up the eyes because I feel like that's a lot of the requests. That's what I get, to open up the eyes.
Makes the eyes bigger.
Yes.
Make the eyes bigger, of course.
And that's what if we focus everything sort of on this, or like the darker, deeper colours on the outside, it's really gonna, and then a lighter colour here, it's really gonna open up that middle, or like that inner to mid section, and that'll really open up the eyes. Because if we bring darker colours all the way in, it's going to make them feel heavier and condensed. Yes, because even I have quite hooded eyes, and I situate everything towards this side of my eye.
The outside of the eyes.
Yes, because if I bring, you know, lashes or eyeliner all the way into here, it just looks like my eyes are closed.
Do you do a lot of mature faces?
Not as much as, I guess, younger generations, but pretty often, yeah, especially at my other salon that I work at. But I'd say my main age range with makeup is probably, I'd say mid-20s to mid-30s, I would say. I feel like the younger girls, surprisingly, are kind of moving away from getting their makeup done because, like, for formals and stuff like that, because
they can do
it's
their
more,
own.
yes, exactly, it's more natural and it's more achievable. To do yourself, whereas when I was doing formal and stuff like that, the look was a glitter cut crease with a cat eye eyeliner, and that's not achievable by the average person. It's a fear of looking like too done up now, which is funny because it was such the opposite. Like,
the 80s
4 or 5
especially.
years ago.
How do you use social media for your promotions and your business?
And social media is so important. It's everything. I actually don't even have a proper website. Now that I think about it, I just have my my Instagram is my website. Obviously I want to do that.
A lot of businesses say that too, because Instagram is the second website.
Literally, I do have a TikTok. Just close for me. I usually will just post the same things as I post for Reels. TikTok is more for virality, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get clients out of that.
Because well, it's a top of funnel. And it will funnel down to Instagram, then the conversion happens. Don't disregard TikTok, even though if it's not a direct sale, it's still a funnel.
I love making TikToks. Like they're lip-syncing to sounds. Like it's just so funny. And I feel like it shows your personality. Like that is a big part of marketing now. Think of brands like Jazz Handmade or Remy by Riley. Their whole TikTok is just them, like the owners and their staff having a fun time. And I feel like everyone gets to know their personalities and everyone, like, you know, gets to know the staff and they see how, like, fun the work environment is. Why wouldn't you want to buy their product? If that makes sense. So I love using TikTok to show that side of me as well. And I did kind of have like a thought the other day. I was like, oh, am I being too unprofessional? Like, are people going to see me as, you know, mucking around? But I think I sometimes do have a good sense of humour, I guess. I like to show that off sometimes. Just make myself seem approachable as well.
So you've just put some eyelashes on the...
Just the outer...
Let me just show the people. Just on the outer...
If we bring the lashes too close into here, it's just going to cover all this space here. And we're obviously still going to put some mascara on, so there'll obviously still be, you know, something happening there.
And I don't want that moth look.
No, I mean, but individual lashes
are
what is in at the moment. I feel like the strip lashes, they're built all the same. There's that annoying band that never sticks, and if it does stick, it'll pop off halfway through the night and poke you in the eye. And you have to cut them and trim them to your eye. Whereas individuals, as even though they're really hard to put on yourself, they are so customizable. With a half lash, you have to have the right lashes to do so, because sometimes it can look a bit funny if you haven't thought about it enough, because it can just look like you've got random things like, you know. But again, that's also coming from a makeup artist perspective and a perfectionist, so
do you ever see faces and you're like, oh, I wish I could just
do something
to you?
I feel like more with beauty.
Yeah.
I'm more like that. I'm like, oh, I could shape your eyebrows so good. Or like, all these extensions would look so good on you. I don't overstep and be
No,
like, you should try this.
Yeah, of course not. No.
A lot more of the older demographic through Facebook, because I feel like that's obviously the most popular form of social media among that age range.
Are you in a lot of Facebook groups?
Yes, especially locally. I always ask like first time clients how they found me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll be Facebook and I'm like, I haven't posted in Facebook in like
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And it's like, because people will see it and even though they might not interact with the post, they've kept it somewhere and they like come to you when they have an event, which obviously they might not have for a while.
Yeah. Do you not connect your Instagram with your Facebook? Because whenever I post anything on my business Instagram page, stories and posts, it goes directly into Facebook automatically.
I've heard a lot of people getting hacked.
Oh yeah, I've got
through
hacked
Facebook.
as well. Definitely.
Yeah, it scares me, but I honestly think like I'm kind of just happy with the clientele I'm getting.
You're not doing ads?
No, no ads.
Okay.
Not that I just haven't.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, no, definitely I did. I've got a Meta ad account.
Yeah.
And I recently did get hacked. But Facebook's really good. They refund everything. Yeah. Except they close down your ad account.
Right.
Which is the problem, because then I have to restart the ad account again, work the algorithm again. If you are getting a lot of your clients through Facebook, then there's probably something that you might want to address again.
Yeah, to think about.
Definitely the Facebook groups. Like, I've found a lot of work through Facebook groups.
Yeah. Abby actually added me to it's like a messenger.
Yeah.
Like Facebook.
Like a group chat.
Through Messenger, yeah, but it's like all these different like, I've never seen it before. It's the only one I'm in.
Yeah.
But Abby was, told me about it and she added me to it. So I literally just look at that all the time.
What is it for? Is it for just models? Okay,
yeah, and for all different things. Like I think there's a makeup specific one or like, there's a few. But it's also for the girls that want to model. Like it's not even for people that are...
For the aspiring models that want their portfolio shot.
Exactly. When it comes to mature skin with the base, years ago we were always told like matte airbrush, but I would always recommend going glowy when you like a more glowy, luminous.
Yeah, I love glowy look.
More youthful.
Did Hailey Bieber bring that in? The glowy.
I think so. She was definitely a major influence in that for sure. Another, I guess, celebrity that's had a major take on makeup trends in the past like year or two is definitely Sabrina Carpenter. I feel like her makeup style, she's definitely had a major influence.
Definitely, she's had a major influence on everything.
Everything.
Fashion and everything.
Yeah.
What do you think their X factor is?
I don't know.
That makes them such great influencers.
I think they're just really good at keeping on trend or even starting trends, to be honest, especially Hailey Bieber. I feel like she's on everyone's Pinterest board, including mine. I just love her fashion. Like, she's just so effortlessly cool because they have the money to do so. Often I'll get people coming in with, an inspiration photo for their makeup and it's a Kardashian Jenner. Yes. And even though it looks very natural on them, they've probably been sitting in a glam chair for 4 hours from 6 a.m.
Everyone's facial shape is so different. You're not a magician.
Yeah. I preach that. A lot of the time, it is hard to communicate that to people.
Oh, of course. I mean, I can't come to you and say, hey, make me look 20 years old. Yeah. And, like Sabrina Carpenter when you're working with this.
Some people are not as in tune as you. No. Which is okay. I don't expect them to.
I get that with fashion as well, Yeah. You get girls coming in and they see the model on the website and then they've got a different body type and they say, well, why doesn't that top make me look like this girl on the website?
I think that's what you're really good at doing though, is because there are so many body types on Devo's account, which I love.
We like to show real bodies.
Yes, because I've had a breast reduction. I found that my top size was like a 14, but my waist was an 8.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't. Yeah. It's so hard to figure out what top to get.
So what are you doing now?
So I'm starting with contouring and concealing. Again, I'm going to say this so many times while I'm doing this, but less is more, especially when it comes to under the eyes. So I stopped my foundation about here because I just want concealer underneath the eye.
So what is the difference between concealer and foundation?
So concealer is more to brighten. Foundation is exactly that. It's just your foundation. It's just a base, and it kind of smooths you over. You look like you've got no. You just kind of 2D.
Yes.
So you need to add concealer and sort of bronzer back to bring the colour and life back. Okay. When you brighten, which is what we do with concealer, adds to the high points of the face. Giving that dimension back where it's more where the sun sort of naturally hits our face. You just literally kind of go where the sun naturally hits.
The whole secret to art is about light and shadows.
It's the most creative out of all of my services, whereas beauty, there's kind of like, and when I say beauty, I mean lashes, brows. There's a right and a wrong. There's not really. There's a little wriggle room where you can like find techniques that work for you. But makeup, I feel like people get so scared because they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, I always say there's no rules.
Before you were talking about splitting your social account, Instagram, into separate niches. So you've got your makeup and then you've got your other lashes and brows. So what's the thought there that you want to split up the account?
My ultimate goal for this business was for makeup to be the forefront. I spoke about it before, I've loved it forever. Makeup is really hard to get clientele. Once you've got that, you can thrive things, but it's really hard to get there because makeup is not a consistent...
repetitive.
Yes, like clients only come to you when they've got an event.
Yeah, so repeat customers is really important to business because it keeps that, it's like a subscription.
Yes, exactly. Whereas beauty, you know, usually you come for touch-ups every 2-3 weeks.
Or an event.
Yes, exactly.
Or a wedding, a party,
or
a
you're going away, that's another, or festivals. I feel like festivals and going away are usually when I get really busy.
Or model
or just summer. Whereas, makeup is a bit harder. So when I started, I was like, well, I need something during the week. And that was when I went to my beauty stuff. I feel that my beauty stuff has really sort of taken over, which is fine. And I love that. And I love my clients and I'm loving what I'm doing. But I always wanted makeup to be what I was known for. And I've drifted away from that a little bit. And so by splitting up my accounts, I think even though it's all under the same name and the same person, the same business, I can target separate demographics. And especially when it comes to shoots, you know, I want them to know I'm a makeup artist, not like, why am I following this beauty page? Like, I want them to follow me because of my makeup.
At this time, it's really hard to start a new Instagram account and to get the followers.
It's very common for makeup artists. I've been talking, you know, to people trying to figure out what I should do. And I know a few that do makeup and beauty as well have found that separating their accounts
work for them.
Yeah, you just never know until you try, I guess.
No, that's right.
And I can always go back.
You can always point back to your main account. What kind of post goes really well? Like which one goes viral? Which one gets the most engagement?
I think definitely when I'm showing my face and talking, which is very hard for me. I really struggle with getting in front of the camera. I think I just am like so particular with how things look, and I think, you know, being a perfectionist really can get, you know, it's good in ways, but also a bit of a, it can get in the way sometimes. But I always find that, the more I show my face, the more I do a voiceover, the more, usually my TikToks, like my funnier TikToks do really well. Anything is better than just posting a photo and being like, here's the makeup. I think people want to see more nowadays.
No. People don't want to be sold to, and if it's
exactly
a random face that they can't relate to.
Exactly.
Like, I think like relatability is the key.
Yes.
It's like a friend to them.
Yes.
You know, online.
Exactly.
Those photos are pretty good too because if they say, I want this, you can always just put them to an example of.
Your skin tone is quite warm, but also a little bit olive at the same time. So I find that more of like a bit like coral blush looks really nice on your skin tone rather than the pink. You can still do it, obviously. But I find that sometimes pink on really tan skin washes you out. So I find adding like a corally kind of still adds warmth.
Do you do a lot of research before you do somebody's face?
If I like have the models, I will. But obviously when it comes to everyday, I don't really know. I just have their name. I'm not going to go Facebook stalk them and you know see beforehand. And usually it's different. With models, usually I have like an idea and it's not even that I have to, but I just like getting to know their features and have a little brainstorm before I turn up on the day and kind of just like do it willy-nilly.
Yeah, of course.
And
want to be prepared, especially if they gave you a brief, like they want to look like this. Yeah.
Whereas shoots, like I'll get a little bit of an idea, but most of the time in my experience, it's just been go for it, do what you want, do whatever you think, so I can kind of have a bit of a
creative direction. So getting back to the mature women.
Yes.
What are your top tips for makeup for them besides less is more? What else?
I mean, this kind of can go for everyone, but especially aging skin is skincare, which I feel like, I guess technically isn't makeup.
Yes.
But a skincare regime is what is going to make your makeup sit the best, as well as skin prep as well. So as I was talking about the toner, we also did a hyaluronic acid serum and a moisturizer as well. So all of those things makes the base. No matter what foundation you use, whatever, unless you've got perfect skin, skin prep is what's going to make a difference. I find that is what people are talking about when they say they love my makeup. And so many times I will have clients like DM me being like, what did you use on my face? What was that moisturizer? What was that skin prep? Rather than any other product. Or like maybe they'll like a lip color or a blush and they'll ask me about that. But more times than not, it's the skin prep that they're asking me about.
Why would you do something on a waterline? Like what are you achieving there?
It's such a subtle step, but I feel like it really makes the look. It really makes your eyes pop. You can alter it like with colours. So either I use a brown, which is what I think I'm going to use, or a beigey colour, not black or white. I feel like that was always what we did. I mean, if you wear black, you wear black. That's their thing. But I would always suggest doing a lighter colour more than a black. And as well, I feel like everyone's fear with makeup, as we were literally just touching on earlier, is making their eyes look smaller. Everyone wants their eyes to look bigger, unless you've got huge eyes and you're like, you don't like them or something. But usually the goal is to make the eyes pop or make them look bigger. I always push for the brown, but especially with lighter colours, like a green, blue, or like hazel even. I feel like when I put this in hazel eyes, it makes them look more green. But yeah. Another thing I was going to say with skin prep is I think that also really helps with the longevity of your makeup. So not only the look, but the the lasting power, which I feel like is what everyone wants nowadays. That's the tips they're looking for. Is how to make it last, and it's all in the skin prep.
Do you do your mum's makeup?
Oh, I should do it more because she asks me all the time.
Was she supportive of you becoming a makeup artist?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so blessed with my parents. Honestly, they probably don't hear it enough, and I know they're watching it. So, love you. Me. If anything, they were kind of not pushing me to do it, but nudging me towards it, because I was in uni doing psychology in an honours actually.
Wow.
Because as I said, I really liked school and I did really well, and because of that negative stigma, I wasn't straight away doing the beauty, because I was like, no, I can't, I have to do a science degree with my, blah, blah, blah.
In my day, beauty things is for like dropouts.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, but I didn't want to.
No, you don't want to be so crass.
Exactly, but that's what they say. They're like, oh, beauty school dropout. Like,
exactly.
Oh, she dropped out of school at 16, like, yikes, you know, but it's like, they're the ones that are probably going to be making more money than you.
Yeah, we're tradespeople now.
Well, exactly. It's the exact same thing with trades. And none of that came from my parents. I don't know where it came from. It was all up here. From myself.
Society.
Like, I also was very, like, reliant on academic validation. Like, if I didn't get, a good mark and whatever. But I didn't even like uni. Like, I didn't even like it. I liked studying psych, but I wasn't passionate about it.
You kids these days have got it really good because everything can be researched on YouTube.
Yes.
You've got so many choices, whereas back then, there was only a certain amount of choices that you have to go, like either be a trade or go to uni.
My mum says that too.
Yeah.
She's like, you're either a teacher, a nurse, or in
a doctor, or
a receptionist.
Yeah, exactly. Or receptionist, exactly. Or a beauty dropout.
Yeah. Dropout.
Yeah.
I've always been very lucky that my parents have always, they always want us to do, me and my sister, they always want us to do something that makes us happy. I wouldn't have been able to start this business if they didn't let me, transform the spare room into a salon.
Yeah, for sure.
Not many people have that
Opportunity.
Yeah,
exactly.
so I'm very lucky.
And
I love YouTube.
Yeah, when
YouTube's
people
my favorite app.
when people are on your channel on YouTube, they're there for you. They want to get to know you.
Exactly.
You've already got them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're invested.
Exactly. And I feel like, I mean, without YouTube, we wouldn't have got, TikTok and whatever. But I feel like that's why there is such an art to TikTok, because it's actually, I feel like, harder to get people's attention in that shorter time rather than longer. Because you've got to hook them in.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got 2 seconds or even less.
Especially, like, sometimes I'll be, sitting with friends or whatever, and they're on their TikTok and they're literally not even watching it. My mum's a big culprit of that. She literally is not even watching it. She's just scrolling and not even paying attention. And occasionally she'll stop for 2 seconds and then she'll just keep going.
Yeah. So I'm always questioning. I always
analyze
what
made me watch that.
Made me stop? What made me stop and watch it to the end? And then try and copy that formula or try and get into the viewer's head. But you just can't.
It's so hard.
Oh wow! Look at that. This is the after.
I'm just gonna quickly buff. Just gonna quickly press that.
Yep.
Sometimes you can look a bit wet.
It's so glowy. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, it's so nice.
Well, another thing with
and my eyes look so big.
Yes, exactly.
It does. That's the aim.
This is a sort of general tip or general word, advice.
Yeah.
When you are getting your makeup done for longevity, obviously today we're just having a bit of fun, but I've done it as if you were going to an event.
Yep. I'll have to go out tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got book club, so maybe I'll go to my book club.
We always, especially with glowy looks, we always set with a powder, because that's what's going to lock it in. So when you're first done and you're sitting in the makeup chair, you always feel more full coverage and a little bit more matte than you would like, but that's because over time, over the day, over a few hours, it's going to all settle into the skin. That skin prep we started with is going to sort of glow through, that lit from within kind of look. I often compare it to when you get your hair done and you get it curled. It's always so tight and you're I just want to brush them out because they feel really tight.
Yeah.
But it's because they're going to drop.
They'll drop, yeah.
It's the exact same with makeup and powder, and I feel like a lot of people are so scared of powder because it does sort of dull that shine and that glow to begin with, but it's what's going to make your makeup last. If I didn't touch anything with powder but you were looking so nice and glowy and it's just going to slide right off. You wipe your face and it's going to come off with your hands, whereas now she's locked in, especially with that spray. She's locked in, it's not moving.
Amazing. Oh, thank you, that looks amazing.
Okay. I'm so happy you like it.
Yeah, so let's end up with where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I want to be doing a lot more bridal makeup and shoots as well. I want to work with big brands and big influencers. A dream of mine would be doing the sofa dofas of the world.
Yes.
Approach
someone local.
I've tried, but not very hard. I would have to do. I need to do a bit more to get their attention. But that would be a massive goal of mine. I still want to do my beauty stuff because I still do love that, but I think I definitely just want to really push the makeup and get that really out there now that I have sort of somewhat regular clientele, that's kind of happening in the background, and I have that stable sort of income or stable ground for me to then adventure, even further. There's so many avenues I can take, honestly. I'm honestly overwhelmed with all the options because I honestly think I'd also be a really good educator.
Yes.
I think I would be really good, especially with lash extensions as well.
Yes, do some tutorials. Revive your YouTube channel. Yes.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. As an actual educator and do run courses. Okay. Teach other aspiring makeup artists or lash extensions.
Maybe we could do it here with the Melbourne content creators. A booking system.
Oh,
I tried booking system.
Mum would get all the participants.
Oh my god, we should do that.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be amazing.
And I can film it and we can split the profits.
Yeah, exactly.